Hi everyone, this is Marcin, and today I want to talk about the image that is part of my color grading course. So if you're interested in getting this course, check the link in the description to get my color grading course. I believe this is one of my best courses I made so far, for sure the best about the color grading. We will be talking about the outdoor images, about the studio fashion images, beauty images, as well as street fashion images. And today here I want to talk about the edit I did. We will have the walkthrough on this image. This image looked like this before in a camera raw. It's a little different than the raw I was seeing because I processed the images in Capture One. I believe it's really great for outdoor images. Of course, the same results you can achieve working with camera raw as well, or at least similar results. So this was the image before. This is the after. Once again, to get my course, check the link in the description. And now we will be talking about this edit. So let me go back to the very beginning. This is the moment when I finished my raw processing. I adjust the colors a little bit more. Didn't have to do that much because the colors were already looking quite strong in Capture One. But what I did, one thing I want to show you. Let's create this new layer. I'm going to call it nodes, and as you can see over here in this area, I applied already in the Capture One during my raw processing rather cold shadows, cold color for the shadows, and as you can see I already was working with rather warm tones for the highlights over here. So that was the one of the main things I already did during my raw processing, which is quite unusual because I don't really work much with shadows and highlights and the color balance itself at this stage. So let's keep the nodes so far. And after I did this short raw processing in Capture One, of course I had to clean up the image. It wasn't really much processing, like the skin was pretty good, like just few spots that required to be cleaned. And of course after that very short touch and burn, and I believe you familiarize yourself with this process. That's how it looks like. That was the areas that I actually brightened up, so I touched, and this is the area that I burn to make a little bit darker. So you can see the difference before and after, just to even out the skin a little bit more. I'm mentioning about touch and burn in this color grading course as well, so that should be okay. If you would be looking for a little bit more information on that and touch and burn, check my other courses on Udemy, like Retouching course, Beauty Retouching course, or Beauty of Touch and Burn. So this was the end of cleaning up the image. And before I jump into working with colors, I always work with contrasts. Like one of the most important things to make your image stand out are always contrast. And many people don't really think about contrast as such an important tool, but your image has to be dynamic. So it's very important how you will approach the contrast. To do my contrast, I'm creating the separate layer for highlights mask and shadows mask. So like in the course, I'm always explaining you how I create a certain mask. For every different image, the masks are usually a little different. So this is the after. As you can see, quite soft contrast, but I believe it looks so much better for this image. So it depends on kind of the image. There will be different approach of working with contrast when I work with studio image, because it has usually stronger lights and better defined highlights. Outdoor image, usually my masks are softened. And finally, the tones. So also I was working with few masks over here. So again, that will be shown how to do this. And one thing I was doing actually was working mostly with color balance, defining the right color for the shadows based on the color harmonies, because this is very important to understand. So also like color harmonies, you have to know this, you have to feed your brain with good information of colors, and then you can approach. And probably color balance is one of my favorite tools. So that was it. And as you can see, like shadows, highlights, and also at the end I added this warm color theme for my image, because I believe the outdoor images looks much better when they have this warm color theme. It might be personal preference, but based on what I see, the images look much better having this warm color theme. And what I usually do is these final steps using camera raw, just to increase a little bit more contrast, working a little bit more with shadows, and adjust the saturation values for the certain colors. So like this is a very short step. I also explaining this in my course, and here's the result before when we started the work in Photoshop, and this is after the Photoshop workflow. Just to mention, sorry for this noise in the background. I cannot really do much about this right now. There is some neighbors. Really, I'm living in really small place right now. I hope it doesn't bother you. So yeah, this is before Photoshop work. Before Photoshop work. This is before raw conversion, after raw conversion, and this is after Photoshop work. To get more information, of course, check the link in the description. Soon I will be discussing a little bit more of my work. I want to share more of my retouching process with you here on YouTube. So yeah, follow me, whether you're following me here on YouTube, follow me on Instagram. I really post a lot of my work there. So if you are interested in fashion retouching and beauty retouching, I'm sure you will be satisfied. So thank you for watching, and see you soon in another video.